Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 19th of October, 2025, and in this video, we're going to be talking about rounding to the nearest nickel or dime. That's right, they're phasing out the penny, and that has huge implications for retailers across the nation. Now, before any of that, though, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. It's actually a really big number. You can check it out on the Google machine. It is ginormous. Now, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now let's bounce over to moneymetals.com. I can show you where the live spot prices end of the week on Friday. All right, so gold finished at 42.65.10, silver at 52.16, platinum at 16.26.75, palladium at 14.88.40, and copper ended the week at 4.93 per pound. Down here, you're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is 10.49 for the quantity of 1 through 39. They ask that you pay 62.65. Now, obviously, if you were paying attention on Friday, you saw all the precious metals get hammered. No doubt about it. But look at this. I mean, we're still up in record territory, no doubt. And what do you think is going to happen come this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern time? Do you think these precious metals are going to keep going in the green, or are they going to go with the red? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, let's go here to the buyback. That's a sell to them price for the American Silver Eagles right here. It says sell to us is 53.54, and that's definitely above the silver spot price right there at 52.16. Now, our next stop's going to be, check this out. I have two examples here. Somebody had sent us a receipt from a Walmart, and we came across something very interesting here. So they brought a chicken egg roll for $1. That was the list price. Subtotal was $1. The tax on that is 9 cents. I don't know why they just don't put a 9 here on the tax instead of put 8.6250. That's, I think that's just games people play who are in charge, but that's just my opinion. Now, the total is going to be $1.09, right? So, because we don't have 0.6250 cents, right? We just have the 1 cent. So anyway, the total was $1.09. They gave him a $20 bill, all right, cash transaction. Now there's some rounding going on here of 4 cents, right? So it's interesting because check this out. Now I'm going to go here to clear this. All right. So when we're looking at this rounding action, they gave him a $20 bill. There's a 20, and then there's the $1.09 total. Well, minus $1.09. Let's check that out. 1.09. They would have been given $18.91 in the world we used to live in. Well, now they've given him $18.95, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. If they're rounding, right? If they're rounding and the total is $1.09, don't they round to the nearest 10 or 5 cents? That should be $1.10, and they should get $18.90 back. Well, that's not the case here. They've been given $18.95 back. And so what does that mean? Well, that means, check this out. We're going to go clear here and go $20 less $1 and a nickel, okay? Because it looks like they rounded down, in the customer's favor instead of rounding up in their favor. So there they got $18.95 for their change, and that's 95 cents right there, which is fantastic because if you like getting change, hey, that's the way to do it right there. Pay cash. Now, let's check out the other receipt that they have here as well. So it looks like the first receipt, they rounded in the customer's favor. And how many businesses, is that Walmart's official policy? So let's check this one out. And here they have a Monster Energy drink. It looks like a 248 is a subtotal, right? Discount given of a quarter. All right. Subtotal is 223. And then the tax on this is 4.1250. Still playing those games. It just should be 5% or 4%, one or the other. All right. 9 cents tax. All right. For the total of 232. Now they gave $3 and change here. So let's go ahead and do $3 right there. And we're going to do minus 232 is the total, $2.32. Well, guess what? Yeah, that would be 68 cents back, but they rounded right there. So it's $3. Yeah, check that out. It's going to be 70 cents change. So they've obviously went to the nearest 0, 5 cents or 10 cents there. So there was nothing there in the customer's favor. Well, it sure was, wasn't it? Because they got 2 cents, right? Yeah, and if it's a penny for your thoughts and you put your 2 cents in, who gets that extra penny? Dun-dun-dun. Yeah, anyway, isn't this interesting? So both Walmart receipts here are rounding in the customer's favor here, all right? So that should have been 68 cents, but they got 70 cents in return. So what's interesting about that is that, this is basically the AI answer to my question here. Penny rounding, all right? It says penny rounding is the process of adjusting cash transactions to the nearest 5 cents. Didn't see that there. Nope. They rounded down on both instances, which will become a common practice in the United States as the government phases out pennies. The general rules are to round down to the total if the total ends in 1 or 2 cents, which we saw in that second receipt. Round up for 3 and 4 cents. We saw that and round down for 6 and 7 cents, and round up for 8 and 9 cents. Well, they didn't round up for 8 and 9. They definitely rounded in the customer's favor there on that first one. Electronic payments will not be affected and will remain priced to the exact penny. Now, this goes through how you round here, and let's go here. If the total ends in an 8 or 9 cents, round up to the nearest 10 cents. So an example, a purchase of $1.29 rounds to $1.30. Yeah, let's check that out one more time. So yeah, if it ends in a 9, they round up to $1.10, which they didn't do, which would have been $18.90. Interesting how Walmart is doing that. And my question is from that, well, is there a standardized law? Is there something going on, or are retailers on their own to figure it out? Right? I mean, look, the United States government's phasing out the penny. This is something they're doing. The Treasury's doing it. We all know it. Your banks can't order any more pennies, and if they are able to, good luck. That's awesome. I hope you get some. But that's it. We got bupkis going forward. Nothing. Let's go here. Walmart rounding penny in customer favor. As of October 2025, Walmart does not have a widespread policy of rounding cash payments in the customer's favor. Any recent cash transaction rounding seen at other retailers is due to nationwide penny shortage, which was prompted by the U.S. government ceasing penny production. And the United States government probably, or coulda, shoulda, woulda, actually not only said, well, we're going to phase out the penny, and we're also going to implement a law that, says you have to round this way or that way, and not leave it willy-nilly up to the retailers to take the, I guess, the rules on their own, right? It says here, key details of the penny situation. Cause of the shortage, the mid-ended production of new pennies in mid-2025. This has led to a nationwide coin shortage, with the final distribution of pennies occurring in August 2025, and we're in October. Now, here it says here, varying retail policies. There it is. That's the answer. Businesses are implementing their own solutions to the coin shortage, and their policies differ. Some round in the customer's favor. Certain convenience stores like Love's Travel Stops and Quick Trip have announced that they will round cash purchases down to the nearest 5 cents to favor the customer, and that's obviously what Walmart has done. Now, Walmart encourages card payments in response to similar coin shortage in 2020, right during the pandemic. Walmart asked customers to pay with their cards or use exact change when possible, converting some self-checkout machines to card-only payment. And do you remember when they had that coin shortage during the pandemic? If you had a roll of quarters, you could go sell them for like $5 over, like sometimes 20. Yeah, you have a roll of quarters? I'll give you $20. Yeah, some retailers were doing that. Now, no national standard, and in parentheses, yet. Yeah, that means this whole thing has not been thought through well at all. In fact, this policy is going to actually put more pressure on the Jefferson nickel, and those are even more expensive to produce than the penny. This is a haphazard action. This is not well thought out at all. It's kind of laughable, actually. You're going to see next year what happens when this goes down, and the next year's fiscal report for 2026 that comes out next September. No, actually, probably in November. My bad. Unlike Canada, which officially eliminated the penny years ago and established a national rounding policy, which the United States has not yet implemented a federal standard for rounding cash transactions, a bill was introduced in Congress of April 2025 to address this, but it's pending. Yeah. When do you think they could actually get that going and make that bill a law? We are in uncharted territory, and it's the retailers that are trailblazing. And is our politicians and our lawmakers, are they actually waiting to see what the retailers do and then go, okay, well, this is what they've done and that's successful, we're going to follow that? Well, we'll find out. Check with local stores. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. Are you going to get rounded up and or are you going to get rounded down in your favor? We don't even know yet. Since the U.S. lacks a federal standard, policies can vary by store and are subject to change based on coin availability. If you're concerned about cash change, it is best to ask the cashier or check for a posted notice before you pay. We're in new territory, folks. We are trailblazing this, a different kind of rounding at Walmart. It is important not to confuse penny rounding during a coin shortage with Walmart's charitable spark to what? No, let's keep on keeping on. All right, national standard of rounding penny. This is all AI answers, and they're fairly decent. Currently, there's no official national standard for rounding to the nearest penny in the United States, but a transition to rounding cash transaction to the nearest nickel is underway. The United States government is phasing out the penny, with the Treasury Department stopping its production by early 2026 due to high manufacturing costs. Yeah, we're getting mixed messages here, right? Do you think that we're going to see any coins in any pennies in 2026? I hope so. I hope they only do it for like a month or two. That would be awesome. What's the current pennies? Because they're at 1.3 billion, 1.34 billion right now for the penny that have been struck for 2025. But if they only do like a million pennies for next year, yeah, that score, ding, 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 ding. Once the current penny supply runs out, retailers will begin rounding cash transaction to the nearest 5 cents, or maybe, right? Maybe not. Electronic payments such as credit card and debit cards will continue to be processed for the exact amount. Now here's the rounding rules again. For final digits 1, 2, 6, or 7, round down to the nearest 5 cent mark. 0 or 5, 0 for the 1 and 2, 5 for the 6 and 7. The final digits end at 3, 4, 8, or 9. They round to the nearest 5 cent mark, 5 or 10 cents. Final digits 0, 5 remain unchanged. It says here concerned and retailer responses. Now check this out. The National Association, the lack of an official federal standard for rounding. Dang it, let me start that over. The lack of an official federal standard for rounding is creating uncertainty, and the market and retailers do not like uncertainty. They don't. They just, how would you like to run a business and not know how to go and approach this? Do you want, is Walmart rounding down in the customer's favor because they don't want the customer to feel like they're getting over on them? Like, hey, I'm taking advantage of you. I'm going to squeeze a couple extra pennies out of each transaction. Thank you very much. No, I don't know. But that would be terrible to feel that way, like your retailer is ripping you off. Now, it says here the National Association of Convenience Stores, that's NACS, I love acronyms, don't you, has urged Congress to pass federal legislation to provide a uniform national rounding policy and address the patchwork of state and local laws that could prohibit the practice. Some retailers, like Quick Trip and Love's, have already implemented their own policies to round cash transactions to the nearest nickel as the penny supply diminishes. Now, here we go with the effects of rounding on change. Customer impact and then business changes. Early economic studies suggest that the collective impact on consumers should be minimal, but it's not completely neutral. Nope, not at all. The potential for a rounding tax, where prices tend to round up rather than down, has been raised, though studies from similar changes in other countries have shown varying results. Business changes. Here we go. Retailers will need to update their point of sale systems and train staff to handle cash rounding. They have also had to decide on their rounding policies and communicate them to customers through signage. Yeah, because there's no national law. And why isn't there a national standard? Is there a national standard for rounding penny? No, not at all. No national standard yet. I mean, you can ask the Google machine 8 different ways, but it's voluntary. Yeah, right there. They don't have to right now, but they don't have any change, right? Now, let's keep on keeping on. We're going to go here to the congress.gov, and this is proposed elimination of the penny frequently asked questions, all right? This is really cool. You guys are going to love this. There's some great information on here, and you can even listen to it. The Secretary of the Treasury, through the U.S. Mint, is authorized to issue circulating coins under that United States code. The smallest of these denominations is the penny, or the 1-cent piece. The first penny was issued in 1793. For more information on the penny, see CRS in Focus IF 12293, Penny History and Current Status by Jacob R. Strauss. While electronic transactions are popular in today's economy, a number of industries rely on coin and cash, and laundromats, vending machines, and around 16. And if there's some homeless person, how are you going to be like, yeah, do you got Venmo? Can I Zelle you some cash? Yeah, probably not. They probably like some coins or some dollar bills, right? And around 16% of our payment transactions rely on cash. In 2025, President Trump announced that he was ordering the Secretary of the Treasury to stop making pennies. Now, in the 119th Congress, that's 2025 through 2026, legislation has been introduced to eliminate the penny. This insight provides answers to frequently asked questions about the penny. How are pennies produced? Well, following a design process. That's not what's important here. Let's keep on keeping on. Here we go. This is why they're getting rid of the penny right here. The cost to produce a single penny currently exceeds 1 cent. According to U.S. Mint in 2024, it sold and shipped 3 billion pennies, right? At face value to the Federal Reserve. That same year, it cost them approximately 3.7 cents to produce each penny, for a total gross cost of approximately 117 million. Listen, when they get rid of the penny, the whole system is going to be much more reliant on the Jefferson nickel, and it cost about 15 cents to make one nickel. That's 10 cents over face value. What do they think is going to happen? Oh boy, it was the 19th consecutive year where it cost more than 1 cent for the United States Mint to make a penny. Coin production costs include raw materials required to make blanks, production, sales, and administrative costs, and distribution to the Federal Reserve banks. As the cost of materials increase, the overall cost to make coins generally increases. Additionally, fewer pennies made in a given year would likely increase the per unit cost, as the costs for design and production are generally similar. Now, has the United States previously eliminated circulating coins? Yes, but we're not going to get into that right there. Let's keep on keeping on. Actually, amending current law, discontinuing production. Now, here we go. Now, here, this is where it's really at. This is the bread and butter of the whole article here. Has legislation to address the penny been introduced? Historically, some members of Congress have introduced legislation to address the cost of the penny. Most frequent proposal is a request the Government Accountability Office, that's a GAO, to study the cost of coin production. None of these measures have been enacted, and that's really the short-sightedness of it all. Yeah, I can't even tell right now. Frustrating this probably is for retailers and even the people that want to. Anyway, let me just say this: it's just they're not doing this right, folks. It's they should have already look. The second they said we're going to get rid of the penny, the very moment they should have been, oh, okay, we need to make a law. Yeah, a rounding law, a standardization of how to round, because they knew they were going to have to round, right? So here we go. This is the Common Sense Acts, House Resolution 3074, Senate Bill 1525, referred to as House Committee on Financial Services, would direct, here we go, let me just go ahead and highlight that, would direct the Secretary of the Treasury to suspend penny production, allow the mint to continue to produce 1 cent coins for numismatic purposes, maintain the coin as legal tender, and set policy for rounding cash transactions. Hey, what a smart idea. Not trying to be salty or anything, but I mean, you got to really think about things before you actually implement them, right? I mean, there's a cause and effect. Boy, oh boy. Now, this is Senate Bill 1554. That's about 25, 29 past that one, would prohibit the minting or issuing of a 1 cent coin and would maintain 1 cent coins as legal tender. Kind of shallow on that one. All right, House Resolution 1401 would temporarily, what? Wait a minute, would temporarily suspend production of the 1 cent coin for a 10-year period, allow the mint to continue to produce 1 cent coins for numismatic purposes, and maintain 1 cent coins as legal tender. So look, they're probably going to do the 10-year suspension to figure it all out. Like, well, does it make sense? Right? They're going to have a study on it. And how many millions of dollars is that going to cost? Now, check this out. I think this is my favorite one of all, probably the best one. And it is by House Resolution 1270. Would temporarily suspend production of the 1 cent and 5 cent coins for a 10-year period, allow the mint to continue to produce 1 cent and 5 cent coins for numismatic purposes, and maintain these coins as legal tender. Would also require a Government Accountability Office to study the effect of the 1 cent and 5 cent coin suspension and whether production should remain suspended. But what it doesn't have in here is a standardization practice for rounding. What is up with that? I don't see how they don't see it. Did they not use cash? I mean, did they only use digital payments, these folks? Did they not pay with cash? Are they that out of touch? I don't even know. I don't know what to think about this. I'm really frustrated, and it's probably frustrating for the retailers as well. So there it is, folks. That's what's going on. That's what's going down. Short-sightedness at its best. Now let's jump over to the +1 action. I got good ones for you here today. This is about the truth. Yeah, truth is heavy, so few people carry it, and you may regret having told the truth, but better the ugly truth than a beautiful lie. And I think what that means is even a painful or inconvenient truth is superior to a comforting falsehood. Yeah, even a painful or inconvenient truth is superior to a comforting falsehood. A lie may be offering temporary peace, which is beautiful, right? That's a beautiful lie, but is ultimately destructive and hollow. In the long run, facing reality, no matter how difficult, is considered the braver and more honorable path. Yeah, brave men tell the truth. Yeah, that's right. Now over here to 39's Fine, 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. Elton John, Daniel, lyrics on screen. You gotta love it. Elton John, that's just talking about his brother. He's older than him. All right, well, That said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. What's not free is going to be membership. And then it's a mere $1.99 a month. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee or inexpensive cup of coffee, whatever adjective you like to use there. And it sure helps these videos keep coming out each and every single morning. It equals about 6.6 cents per video, which is not a whole lot. It really isn't. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Stacker out.